Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and we're here with another basketball reaction. You guys seem to absolutely love these, and that's just great because I really enjoy them as well. And I'm just appreciating the fact that you're the one suggesting these kinds of videos, and I'm just loving them. But yeah, this video is 10 greatest signature moves in NBA history. Now I assume this will be a video, this will be full of like players maybe from the past, not all. There'll probably be some recent players, but overall maybe like full of old school players I may have never heard of. Because signature moves are like one of those things that you're so like when you see it, it's like you associate it with that player. And for example, if that player retired 20 years ago and there's players doing it nowadays, I feel like you might still think of the old player who originally started it. But yeah, I just think this could be a fun video. Hope you guys enjoy. But yeah, let's just check this out and see which players are on.
Signature moves. Over the course of NBA history, a lot of superstars are recognized for their signature moves. I would say that those signature moves are a huge reason why they were successful in their craft. How's it going, fellas? My name's Andy, and today we're going to take a look at the top 10 most iconic signature moves in NBA history. Alright, let's get started. Number 10, Rajon Rondo's behind the back fake pass.
Oh, I'm ready for this.
Now, I'm sure the behind-the-back fake pass move was done
Oh,
before, but
he
Rondo
faked
was the
it.
guy who really popularized it and made it his own.
Oh,
Throughout his career, he was always known for
mate.
playing mind games with his opponents, and this move is basically the essence of who Rondo is as
This,
a player
bro, that is so
who really popularized it and made it his own. Throughout his career,
is
he was always
nuts.
known for playing mind games with his opponents, and this move is basically the essence of who Rondo is as a player.
That is so trippy.
He's able to pull it off really well because of his combination of large
Oh, he
hands
passes it.
and
I
a
feel
long
like pulls it
wingspan.
back.
So he makes it more
Oh,
convincing
mate.
when he stretches all the way behind his back, and because he's such a great passer, opponents gotta respect the pass, even if they know
Oi.
Rondo will do the fake. Other players recently, like Ben Simmons, have also adopted Rondo's signature pass fake.
That is
If done
cold.
correctly, it's very effective.
That is sick. Oh my days.
Number 9, Manu Ginobili's
I know this guy. I've
Eurostep.
seen him before. Is he
Even though
Italian?
there's been a lot of European players who played in the
I see
NBA
too.
before Ginóbili arrived, I'd say that Ginóbili definitely made the Eurostep into what it is today. A ton of players have incorporated the Eurostep into their games, and sometimes it's incredibly deadly, especially
Oh, is
when
it
a
when
guy
you,
like Giannis does
Like
it.
that.
All the credit deserves to go to Ginóbili for popularizing the Eurostep in the NBA. In his prime, he was known for his flashy
Okay, yeah, I see
playstyle,
it.
and the Eurostep was flashy and exciting to watch, but above all else, it's really effective. When you don't want to run
I like
into
that
a
a lot, that's
defender
cool.
and get an offensive foul, you can whip out the Eurostep and go around them. It's also good when the defender jumps up for the block, but the offensive player never goes up, and instead just goes around for the layup. It's amazing how many players use it today, but nobody did it better or made it look as cool as Manu Ginóbili.
Looks simple, but it must be effective.
Number 8,
Really
Magic
effective.
Johnson's no-look pass. In the
That's before.
1980s, the show
You guys actually have said react to Magic Johnson because he's one of the old school greats. And trust me, I'll get to him because, again, you guys have suggested them a lot, and I'm excited to see what he's about.
Showtime Lakers played the most
that
entertaining
was
style
cool.
of basketball the NBA has ever seen.
Wait, what was
None of that would
that?
have been possible without Magic Johnson, and more specifically his
Wait,
incredible
what the hell?
passes.
How
His
did he make
trademark
that
was
pass?
the no-look pass, which he used in a variety of different
He
ways.
just scooped over
The
everyone.
creativity of Magic was second to
Oh,
none.
that's
He
nice.
was arguably the most creative
That is
passer
naughty.
ever, up there with Pete Maravich. Everything he did was not only great to watch, but it
Wait. I know this isn't Magic Johnson, but what the hell was that?
most creative passer ever,
What is
up there
this?
with Pete Maravich. Everything he did was not only great to watch, but it confused even the best defenses, and
mine is
sometimes
gone.
it would even surprise his own teammates. His passing tricked everybody, and it just showed that Magic's
Oh,
court vision
shit.
was far ahead of anyone else at the time. He was always 2 steps ahead of everyone else, and before defenders could react, the Lakers
mate, this
already scored.
sucked.
I also
Should I react to this guy's passing? Because I reacted to another guy recently, and his passing was nuts. But maybe this guy's like the originator of like the sort of passing techniques, etc. If you guys would like to see that, just comment.
think that Magic's height played a role in allowing him to make passes like that. Being a legit 6'9" point guard was
Jeez.
unheard of. And he can basically see over the defense and find the best
Flipping
spots to pass the
hell.
ball. Regardless, Magic is the greatest point guard of all time, and it's unlikely anyone would ever surpass him for that title.
Fair enough. So he's a baller for like
Number
real
7,
baller.
Steph Curry's long threes. I had to include Curry on this list because he was the guy who drastically changed the NBA in recent
So he is named for
years.
three-pointers then?
This three-point era where teams are shooting like 35 or 40% of their field goals from beyond the arc is largely because of the influence of Curry and the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, wow.
Curry shoots threes from like 25 or even 30 feet away from the basket, which is insane. He does it on a consistent basis and actually makes them. In his 2015-16 season, his best season of his career, he shot 67% from beyond 28 feet.
Oh my
That's
days.
freaking insane. He took about 50 shots from that distance all season, so the sample size was decent.
Bloody
It's
hell.
crazy how good he is shooting from that far away, but when you think about it, it kinda makes sense. Usually, defenders don't contest shots that are, that far away, so Curry was probably wide open on a lot of them. Other players have also started to shoot more long
Curry,
threes
bro.
because apparently it's not a bad shot anymore. Damian Lillard has been doing this for a while too, and same with Ryan Anderson. Being able to shoot from that distance puts a ton of pressure on the defense, and it's also why the high pick and roll is the Warriors' most effective play, which they run a
what a
lot.
baller.
The spacing is just insane with Curry's gravity, being able to just stand there and still be the biggest threat on the floor.
How can his accuracy be so good at like 3-point situations? Because you're so far from the hoop. And like I said, obviously over time the game's evolved. Back in the day where 3-pointers are a lot rarer. Like, did they not really happen often compared to nowadays? But that's quite interesting how the game evolved. And how long ago was it? Was it when Curry arrived in the NBA, or was it before that, or just after? Like, when did the 3-point situation, when there was more, when 3-pointers were scored more, when did that sort of come in the NBA?
Number 6, Tim Duncan's bank shots.
What is that? But yeah, Curry's one of the players that everyone knows of, so it's just interesting to see that he's obviously left his mark in the sport like that. Because I mean, I didn't expect him to.
Duncan's bank shot is one of the
That sort of
reasons
famous,
why he got the
isn't it?
nickname.
Famous, that's not the right word. Sort of. Oh, what's the word? Like, have such. It does make it look very,
Number
very
5,
simple.
LeBron's chase down block.
Oh yeah, I've seen this a lot.
LeBron has a
Like,
few
his blocks are
trademark moves
nuts.
that could probably make up an entire list by themselves, but I think the chase down
Just
block
jumps
is
in
his
last
most
minute.
recognizable move.
Smacks it out there
In
from
Game
living
7
hands.
of the 2016 Finals, that was the defining moment of the game, along with Kyrie's three-pointer. What makes this move so scary is that every time an opposing player gets a steal, they have to be wary of LeBron. If they don't,
Jeez.
it's gonna be an easy block for him because he's so good at timing his jump. It's basically common knowledge. You gotta go up strong to not get blocked
Actually
by
crazy
LeBron.
how he does that.
Other players have done the chase down before, like Tayshaun Prince, for example, who probably has the most famous one. But none of them do it as
He
consistently
does it so
as
brutally
LeBron.
as well. He's like,
He's
nah,
a
bitch.
6'8", 250, 260-pound guy who runs as fast as any guard in the league, and even at an older
Flipping
age,
hell.
will still jump as high as ever.
That
and
is
it's honestly
crazy.
incredible how well he's aged.
Literally
I
catches
remember
it.
back
Bro,
in the
what
day,
was
people
that?
tried to argue that LeBron's game will age very poorly because he relies on athleticism, and it made sense at the time. But what nobody realized is that how well LeBron takes care of his body, and he got a lot smarter too. Number
Baller,
4,
man.
Allen Iverson's crossover. I'd argue that he was the most influential
Allen
player
Iverson.
since
A lot of you guys
2000.
have suggested this guy as well. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing he's from the older sort of era. I'm not too sure what he's about. I'm guessing he's like a dribbler. Because I think you were saying it under videos to do with Kyrie Irving, who is the best dribbler, or like most people think he's the best dribbler of the NBA nowadays. And you're like, oh, Allen Iverson, man, check him out. He's 10 times.
So many young players looked up to him because he played the game in his own way with his own unique
Oh,
style.
mate.
During a time when guards his size were expected
Bro,
to be,
he's so quick. Oh, this
actual
guy's gonna
point
be
guards,
so cold to
Iverson
watch.
changed that expectation. Instead, he focused on
Jeez.
scoring and became a scoring machine. In my opinion, his two most famous highlights were when he crossed up Michael Jordan as a rookie and when he crossed up Tyronn Lue and stepped over him. And
Oh,
what you see in
mate.
both of these highlights
Send
is
Jordan for an
crossover.
absolute dream.
Iverson's crossover is his signature move and inspired millions of people to go out to their backyards and try to copy it when playing pickup. Although there's been some controversy about it recently, Tim Hardaway believed that AI carried the ball every time he did a crossover, and I will admit he bent the rules a little bit,
Oh,
but
fair
it was
enough.
still hard to call it traveling. Nowadays, pretty much everyone quote-unquote carries the ball during a crossover, but the refs don't call it. So I guess it's legal? Regardless, the crossover in general made the game a lot more fun to watch. It's a huge part of basketball
Oh.
culture. And Iverson was the guy who paved the way for the new generation of combo guards.
What I would say is, the fact that he said, "Oh, he carried it," I feel like that's kind of a compliment in a way. Obviously, he's saying he cheated. But I'd say that's a compliment because if you're like, because I mean, it was obviously legal back in the day, and if you're sort of saying that, that must show how good he was at doing either cheating, which I don't think that's the case, or like how good he was at dribbling. Because to have someone say that about you, it must be like a sort of like, wow, he was too good, like in a sense.
Number 3, the fadeaway.
Compared to other people.
So I want to talk about a couple different iconic fadeaways. First, we have Dirk's one-legged fadeaway, his signature go-to
how
move
do you
that
even
is pretty
score
much
that?
unguardable. And other players started to copy it too because of how good it is.
Fair enough.
It worked amazingly for Dirk because he was so tall. When you're a 7-footer doing a fadeaway and sticking out a leg to create space, there's nothing anybody could do. He's going to get a high percentage shots every time because it's like the defender isn't even there.
How can you
The other fadeaway is
do
the
that on
MJ or
such
Kobe style fadeaways
bad
where they
balance?
create space by making a quick move
Or when you're
or
falling
turning
over
the shoulder
someone?
after a post-up. Now, what
Jeez.
separates MJ and Kobe's fadeaways from the average player's fadeaway is that they primarily rely on their footwork and elevation when they jump. They're only 6'6" with average wingspan, so they can't just shoot over everybody like Dirk. In my opinion, they also have the most aesthetically pleasing fadeaways to watch because it's just a cool move. A mid-range fadeaway is a high-risk, low-reward shot because it's kinda inefficient, but when it goes in, it looks amazing. Kobe, especially, made a career out of taking difficult shots, and the fadeaway is no exception. It's really hard to pull off, and most coaches nowadays don't even want their players to take a shot like that. But for those 3 guys, it was their bread and butter. Number
I don't know
2,
how
Hakeem
people can shoot in
Olajuwon's Dream
such
Shake. The good old Dream Shake, the move
such
that
like
defined Hakeem
under so much
Olajuwon's
pressure.
career. In his most famous highlights, the one against David Robinson, Hakeem put him in a spin cycle.
Oh!
This was in the 1995 Western Conference
Oh,
Finals.
mate!
Robinson got his MVP trophy and Hakeem got his revenge.
Who's
Putting up
this guy
35
then?
points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and over 4 blocks in the 6-game series.
Oh,
It was
that is
without
dirty.
question the best series of his career, and he put on a full display of his Dream Shake.
This
Hakeem
guy's...
is arguably
God,
the greatest
mate, this
post-up player
guy.
in history. He was so versatile and quick. He was unguardable in the paint because he had so many moves, and if one move didn't work, he just used the next one.
One-handed, bro.
Hakeem has said that the
mate.
inspiration for his Dream Shake was based off of his days playing soccer.
Oh,
He
wow.
realized that soccer players had great footwork, so he incorporated it into basketball. The Dream Shake was all about footwork and instinct. A lot of superstars over the
Jeez.
years have went to Hakeem to get some training to improve their footwork, but the Dream Shake is something that can't be taught. And that's why we'll never see another Hakeem Olajuwon.
Flipping out, that's a big sort
Number
of
1, Kareem's
part to raise.
skyhook.
Oh, it's this guy again.
The
Is it
most
Kareem?
iconic
Oh, that was
move
Hakeem, not Kareem. Oops.
ever. The move that defined the career
Who's this guy,
of the player
then?
who scored the most points in NBA history. The move that looks pretty basic and should be easy to replicate, yet nobody has been able
His
to
arm,
do
though.
it. And why is
Look how
that?
high his arm is.
Well, firstly, Kareem was
Is he shooting his
massive.
fingers?
He was listed at 7'2", but it's been speculated that that was without shoes on, so he'd probably be listed at 7'3", or heck, maybe even 7'4" if he played today.
Oh, wow.
Secondly, Kareem's skyhook was a lot different from the normal hook shots.
He shoots with his
When most
fingers.
players do a hook, the power comes from their arms. But with Kareem's skyhook, he used mainly his wrist.
Oh, his wrist.
This
Fair
allowed him
enough.
to get a lot more control when he shoots, cause it's almost like a regular jump shot.
Yo, that's nuts.
Additionally, Kareem barely moved when he did the skyhook. He lifted up his leg and jumped a little bit, but the main idea
Bro,
was
he's
to
so
focus on
big.
controlling the wrist movement to accurately hit the shots. In recent times, players try to replicate
my
the skyhook,
days.
but they usually end up doing this weird running hook floater thing. It looks cool, but it's inconsistent. Playing in the post in general is a lost art, as most teams are moving away from it because very few players are good enough to score efficiently from there. I doubt we'll ever see anybody
Jeez,
else
yo, that's
master the
cold.
skyhook, the most unguardable shot in NBA history.
Oh, mate.
And that's all, folks. Those were, in my opinion, the top 10 greatest, most iconic
This was a
signature
sick
moves
video,
ever.
man.
Honorable mentions to George Gervin's finger roll, Tim Hardaway's
Finger roll, wait,
crossover.
finger roll.
That's all, folks.
Let's see
Those
this, I wanna
were,
see this.
In my opinion, the top 10 greatest, most iconic signature moves ever. Honorable mentions to George Gervin's
the hell?
finger roll, Tim Hardaway's crossover, James Harden's step back. Honorable mention to Pistol Pete's elbow pass, and
That's
Jason
nuts.
Williams' elbow pass as well.
Seen that one before, that was
And
insane.
Kevin Garnett blocking shots after the whistle. Alright, I
Oh,
hope y'all
wow.
enjoyed that video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
That was a sick video, man. I really enjoy this sport. Like, all these little individual videos are so sick to watch. But that was insane. It's sort of like, especially that last guy, was it Hakeem? No, Kareem. Bro. And that Hakeem guy as well. But that Kareem, the way he just sort of jumps up, like a sort of, just straight up, and he just sort of hits it with his fingers, it's mental. The skill that some of these guys have, all these guys had, is just genuinely flipping like out of this world. He's actually got a part 2, so maybe I'll see that in the future. But yeah, that was a sick video. If there's any more videos by this guy you want to see, or any other videos in general you want to see, just comment down below. And yeah, until next time, like, subscribe, peace.